contradiction or paradox is a logical singularity. And what I mean by that is we can go back to calculus 1. And so in calculus, when we define a derivative, you have something like an xy axis and you have a curve, right? And so the derivative itself is essentially if I take this curve and I select a point on the curve, then there is a line that's tangent to that curve. And so the derivative is telling you the slope of that tangent line. And so this would be like a slope of 0, then it has some value. And so to compute the slope, you take the rise versus the run. If I'm taking this curve, then I go up some and I go this way some, and then that's the slope.
Right.
And so I take how much it rises and divide it by how much it runs in this direction. Because you take it divide by how much it runs, if I take these 2 points and bring them closer and closer together, the denominator goes to 0. So you take the limit at the denominator goes to 0. But what that means is that the idea of taking the limit at the denominator gets to 0 is I want these things to be as close as possible while still being separate. Because if they're the same, then I'm dividing by 0, I reach the singularity, which is an infinity. And so I reach this infinity. And so the ideal is to get them as close as possible. This is the logic of the limit. And so
Mhm.
and so with that being said, then the most ideal state you could possibly have in the limit of the logic is A and not A, for them to be the same and not the same simultaneously. But the problem is that state, as I get closer and closer and closer, this is the idea of more precision. The closer they get, the more digits of precision I'm providing. And so the point of A and not A actually exists at the point of infinite precision. So within the symbolic order, within our structure of language, that infinite precision is always outside of the language because there's a resolution limit to the language. And so the paradox is a manifestation of the ideal. Just like the Platonic ideal is always outside. You can never get a perfect equilateral triangle manifested in reality, but we can conceptualize it. And so it's something like as beings, we exist in both the space of the ideal and in this temporal space. Like we have a connection to the eternal. So this is a separation of heaven and earth. This space of structure is earth. Then the heaven is just like this ideal that's always outside, but we're also like connected to it. And so this is our whole. This is our lack that we're always trying to reunite with. And so to me, the paradox itself arises from an information limit in this way I've just described. And infinite precision or the singularity in this sense coincides with paradox.
Oh, wow.